The amateurs think marketing is all about selling stuff. But at the higher levels of marketing, the pros know it's all about differentiating your brand, making your company stand out from all other competitors, because once you do that, that's when the selling really starts. And part of a brand's uniqueness in this country, I believe, is our very Canadianness. According to ComScore, Canadians spend more hours online per month than any other country. Furthermore, research reveals that almost 80% of Canadians prefer to support Canadian businesses. That's an extraordinary stat. And over 50% of Canadians prefer .ca websites. Respondents felt that a .ca domain name was trustworthy and honest. And I have to tell you something. Trying to relay trust in marketing is so incredibly difficult. Because as soon as you say, trust me, people immediately think, you know, I trusted you right up until the moment you said, trust me. And of course, there's a reason why soap operas love those two words so much. Because whenever you see a soap opera character say, trust me, Barbara, you know what that means. That means I'm going to poison you and marry your sister. That's exactly what that means. So trust is this really invisible, difficult thing to relay in marketing, but a .ca website says that. That's a powerful thing. And then imagine on top of that bedrock of trust, you will layer in all your company's branding. It's a pretty powerful combination. And I think more and more Canadian companies are competing globally now. The internet has opened up like a drive-through window to your business, to your company, for the world. And I think our Canadianness is an asset there too, because I think Canada is really respected internationally. We're peacemakers. That's the reason why Americans often travel with little Canadian pins on their backpacks. It just guarantees they'll be treated well. And I think that speaks so well to our brand, to how people feel, again, feeling about Canada. And in this Trump era, I believe Canada's brand is even more powerful. We're not a melting pot. We celebrate diversity. We're welcoming. And in the world, and I think especially right now, that inclusiveness is meaningful to a lot of people. Canada is unique. We are different. And smart marketers speak our language. They embrace our identifiable characteristics. For example, our self-deprecating sense of humor is so Canadian, so Canadian. Whenever I wrote self-deprecating commercials for American companies, they rarely accepted them. It was really a Canadian thing. It made me realize how much of a characteristic that is of our country. Then there's our vocabulary. Besides oot and a boot, we have a lot of Canadian lexicon that is really ours, right? There's double-double and toonies, and icing means something here that has nothing to do with cakes. We spell color, favor, center differently than our southern neighbors. We use the metric system. Our temperature is measured in Celsius. But more than that, more than all those little subtleties, there's a Canadian sensibility. And that is so important when we're even branding not just our companies, but our country. As I said earlier, a strong brand tells you what it stands for and what it stands against. My friend Paul Lavoie, the founder of a very famous Canadian advertising agency called Taxi Advertising. By the way, he called it Taxi because he believed that it only took the same amount of people to run any account as could fit into a taxi. So not big groups, but 4 people could run any account if you're smart. Anyway, he was talking to a group of Canadian ambassadors recently about tourism. He has this belief that when you brand a country properly, that country is elevated on the world stage. It's not just bringing tourists to a country, but it's elevated on the world stage. And he said this, and I love this. He said, everything about Canada can be summed up in 2 slides. First, it's this one. This is what most people think when they think Canada. And then there's this slide. His point was, you can't own nature. You can't choose nature as your branding. Instead, smart countries brand themselves by the unique sensibility of its people. And like a company culture, a country's culture is an outward expression of its shared beliefs. That's what makes a company strong, right?